games, but one of them is Japanophobia, and I'm not saying I have it, but I still don't really like... Wait, is that the fear of needles or of blood? Not sure. But I think I still don't really like needles. Well, you'd be surprised. There's people out there who have a fetish for needles. There's probably some people who like putting needles in their bodies for just like fun and arousal. Sometimes they only like it when there's blood. That sounds really spooky. And there is actually a music video by Björk, in which she puts lots of needles through her body. Quite spooky, actually. It also involves partial nudity, but that's not spooky. Björk is very spooky. You know, I think Björk's more recent work hasn't really met my taste. I am not sure if I liked Björk more recent developments. Maybe I'm not into it, maybe I just haven't understood it. I'm not too fond of it actually. But then again, I feel the same about most artists, or musicians at least. Like, once they pass their expiry date, they are just like foods. And I don't mean wine. They just usually get worse with age, not better. Sometimes at the point of getting moldy, and then you just have to throw it into the garbage can. No longer edible or enjoyable. Well, isn't that nice for you? That you consume everything before its expiry date? I unfortunately cannot say the same for me. I shall win this lab fight, you say? I mean, I could randomize whether I win or not. How about that? death by falling and crashing into the water below might still be pretty exciting. Oh! Stuck up to the end. Quit slapping me, you old bitch. Push okay. Oh! 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 Ooh! 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 Well, are they trying to even cover that up? Because I am not sure if they are. Oh really? That's interesting. I mean, I know that the first part only covers Midgar, but... I mean, I know it is episodic, I'm just wondering if they are trying to hide the fact. Doesn't anyone who follows any of this already know that by now? I mean, it doesn't seem like they can trick anybody into buying the game and them not knowing that the game is only, like, part of the whole experience. Like, is there any person who could be tricked like that? People who never played the original, but I mean, in that case, it's not like they'll be missing anything, will they? Because to them it might just be an entire game that ends at that point, and that's all. Right? Well, I see what you're saying, but it doesn't seem like a big issue to me. I mean, they already bought the product. Like, what are they gonna do about that? Trumpet shell. This is not my first one. I already have one. I don't want it. How many chests are in Rocket Town now that I can get? I don't remember. Oh, there's another one. W machine gun. That's really nice. And there's a spooky red shirt hanging on the coat hanger. Can you see that? I never noticed that in the original game. Has it always been there? Why is there a red shirt hanging there? That's really spooky. I never noticed that before. Like a Black Friday on a Tuesday. So like a Black Tuesday. I mean, you can still order stuff online, even with Corona being in the way, I'd say. Anyway, I need to go on a hydration break and get myself drunk with more of this fabulous red tea I have. So see you in a couple of months. You know, I also had to, of course, spend a lot of time on picking more foods for the great minigame that is eating and having chat wonder what food I'm eating. And I want to clarify something, at least in the country I'm currently positioned in. You can of course still pick other people's noses. It's just that you must do so while you're not having an orgy. Like, you can still be like having some weird sexual fetish parties. You just need to make sure that only 2 people are partaking in any at any given time. So, just so that you know. This randomizer randomizes enemies, my limit breaks, character starting stats, the general stats, the general stat progression of my characters, as well as, sorry, as well as, treasure chests and other item locations. Well, I mean, weird sexual fetish parties with only 1 participant, I think, are not actually weird fetish parties anymore, are they? Also, I've always wondered about this quite deep philosophical question, but how many people is the threshold, the minimum threshold to call something an orgy? I wonder, is it like 3 or is it more than 3? Like 4? I really need to know this, I think. No, you start the game at the same level. It's just that my stats, like my strength and so on, are randomized. But yeah, you fight different monsters and higher monsters, and you get different stuff from treasure chests than you normally would, among other things. I mean, I can surely assume I've been part of orgies on an almost daily basis. I am actually currently part of an orgy, if you haven't realized yet. I mean, what do you think all these breaks I'm taking are for? These are just my orgy breaks. I'm not sure if you realize, but you don't have to go to an author, to a brothel to have an orgy. What do you think private houses and apartments are for, if not to have orgies? I mean, I think that if you involve someone professional, it's no longer an orgy, is it? You know. Neo Bahamut. Interesting. Normally this would have been Quadra Magic. But I already have Quadra Magic anyway. I mean, you can probably, depending on, I mean, um, have you been part of an orgy? If I may so ask. Because your answer seems to tell me you have indeed not. Yeah, that's one way. I mean, the question you're asking is kind of like people asking how much something costs, and then somebody telling them if you have to ask how much it costs, you can't afford it. That's kind of the same situation here, I would say. But on a more serious note, some people will probably at some point, because orgy is a part of their lifestyle, if not even their whole life, um, be really annoyed by the quarantine measures and possibly rebel because they cannot live without orgies. I wonder at which point that will occur. "20 degrees. I mean, I haven't left the house in like 8 days, so I'm not even sure what temperature it is right now here. So I could now go to Medial and move on with the story, but personally, I think it's more important to make a trip to Gods to the Costa del Sol and actually buy the villa there, because, you know, it's really important. But before that, I'm actually going to go to the Chocobo farm and buy more useless stuff there as well, like Chocobo stables. Underwater, wow. Another fucking underwater materia. Okay. Thanks, whatever. Yes, I have. Maybe you haven't, but you can join me in doing so. Well, but to be fair though, I haven't done it in an over-the-top fashion yet. There's still some more time to do so. I have done it since yesterday, but not very much. Also, I'm sorry, but oh, you're making... Have you actually started making the painting yet? Or have you not? It's interesting. I can already fucking get a gold chocobo. Isn't that just marvelous? Because I have the desert rose. Okay. And I think I found it in a chest. I mean, where else do you get desert roses if not in some kind of random chest somewhere? If I were to find another one, I think nothing would happen because it's like a one-time event. I assume, but I'm not entirely sure. Maybe you would get another one. But I assume nothing would happen. So I really wonder what the other materia is. Like, I'm going right now to the Knights of the Round materia and seeing what this is. I mean, I still feel the same about the color yellow. I don't like it. I'm not sure if I would say it scares me. But I also still find gold tacky. Are you... well... This is just so... I don't know. Disappointing. I want to be angry at this for being something shitty, and now I cannot be angry. I am angry at not being able to be angry. No. It was Knights of the Round, which it normally is. Oh, and this too isn't randomized. I mean, I don't know why Quadramatic was randomized, but Knights of the Round, as well as HBMP were not randomized. If I follow this logic, I assume that Mime should not be randomized either, but maybe it is now because just to make no sense at all. I mean, maybe the materia you can get with the high wind glitch, Quadramagic, was randomized for that very reason, because you can get it early. This makes no fucking sense, just as I thought. And Mime actually is one of the more useful materia, and now I can't get it. Unless I get lucky with some other materia drop somewhere. Oh well. Oh, I can go to the ancient fucking forest too now. Oh yeah. I completely forgot about that. Oh, and I can go to this place. There's so many places I can go to that I don't really know. That I don't really want to go to. I think that's unlikely. I mean, I know statistically speaking it's not impossible. It's possible that they were randomized and just happened to be exactly what they used to be, but that's just very, very unlikely, considering the number of items there are. And wow, nothing happens here if you come with non-cloud. Oh well, that's also disappointing. It's so disappointing. I don't like it. Okay, what kind of equipment should I have? Since when does the game care about plot making sense? Wow, Vincent's magic attack is very, very low. He is like impotent, magically wise. Like 39, wow. That is like garbage tire. Hey Zolvin, how are you? So why do I still have Kate Sif actually? I should not have Kate Sif anymore. I just realized. There could be nothing worse than having a Bahamut summon Quadramagic. I should make sure that I don't just accidentally do that, because that, let me tell you, is truly terrible. You actually cannot Quadramagic Quadro. The materia is hard-coded to not work with Quadro. Anyway, I'm about to enter the marvelous, mysteriously magical and endlessly funny, exhilarating ancient forest that comes with lots of super fun treasure. And spooky looking enemies. Wait. I think I am having a soft lock once more. Yeah. Definitely soft lock. Okay. Cool. How I like these soft locks. I cannot put into words. Anyway, how is everyone doing who has not fallen asleep yet? Strangely enough, people on YouTube, they always tell me that... Did I actually save? Please tell me I saved. Seems so. People on YouTube like to tell me that they enjoy falling asleep to my streams, which I find interesting. Is that even healthy? I'm not sure. Diamond bangle, wow. That's exactly what I needed, of course. I mean, personally, I must say I've never really had a hard time falling asleep. And I think this is another of these spooky infinite loops I've already experienced earlier. Did you see what I stole though? Because it doesn't really matter because I'm having an infinite loop. But, you know. It seems like somebody's trying to cast Cure, that's what I'm getting there. And that seems to be an issue, it seems. I'm not quite sure how to fix this. I mean, I could change part of the AI. I am just not sure if I want to do that. Oh yeah, apparently some of the enemies here actually have the Master Fist to steal. I mean, what I could try is just, let's see. I can do something. Not sure of it really. Oh well, let's just do that. Et voila. Something might be happening soon. And here again. Not really sure if this does anything. It's worth a try though. Alright. Next attempt. I mean, I would really like to be able to go through the ancient forest. Because, like, atmosphere-wise, it's one of my favorite parts of the game. I also just seem to like forests in general. And it's so nicely green. Even though the greenness here is quite worrisome, it's probably even too green. I mean, at some point, if something is too green, it just becomes moldy looking, which is what you don't want to achieve. Maybe, who knows? Maybe it's working now. The thing I changed in the AI. Because I have getting no softlock yet. This is also the same thing you would normally find here. Oh, actually, I'm not sure. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't even know how many treasure chests, or treasure chests like items there are in this forest, but quite a few. And I also might have forgotten how these screens even work. MP plus. You know, it's always very exciting to see that the things that are not randomized are garbage, but the things that are randomized are almost always randomized into garbage too. It seems like there is some kind of garbage conservation principle in action. Like, I'm getting the feeling that the game is gonna give me garbage no matter what. It seems that this law indeed applies to this mod. I'm not hating, I'm just giving you my perfectly objective view on it. Oh. Another limit break I learned. Interesting. Stardust Ray. Stardust Ray normally is one of Red 13's limit breaks. And unless you have played the game casually a lot, or you're doing a 100% one, you might not even know of this limit break, because it is not exactly very meaningful, I would say. Even though it looks quite fancy, I must say. Well, you'll see pretty soon what he looks like when he does these limit breaks. I mean, things look quite funny, I would say. To put it lightly. I mean, have you not seen what it looks like when characters use limit breaks that they normally cannot use? Because if you have not seen that, then I might even go so far as to ask you if you've ever even really lived. I mean, I'm not sure if I would call it a split, but she certainly did something. You know, the sad thing though about doing this early, the Forest of the Ancients, is that because I've already done it, there's no reason to go back here. And hey, Fakeman. Interesting. I am not sure if that's what I wanted, but I guess I'm gonna take it, provided I even got that. I mean, it's sad I got full cure, but I have a feeling, no, I don't only have a feeling. I know I did not get full cure. I got just another typhoon, wow. This is a letdown. I mean, as I said earlier, this is really just a deception simulator. You're trying to learn your life, and then you're being deceived by the game. And you have to cope with it. I mean, this is just kind of psychological torture. I don't know if I like it. I think full cure would have been really nice, but I didn't get it. I instead got another useless copy of the Typhoon materia. Suffering. Oh my god. Oh my spooky, 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 spooky god. I'm too spooked right now. On the other hand, this weapon was dealing very strange things to me. Like, what damage was that even? Like, there's nothing spookier than that battle backgrounds. The underwater battle screen. Have I slept? You mean like in general? Previously in the past? Ever? If that is your question, which I'm sure is not, then my answer is yes. I have indeed experienced what humans call sleep. Preemptive. Interesting. It seems to really be preemptive and not full cure, even though I really would have liked full cure. In the last 24 hours, if that's your question, then my answer too was yes. I have slept in the last 24 hours. And hey, Pochmasi. Oh, one thing I wanted to do is I wanted to go to Costa del Sol and buy the Pointless Villa. I shouldn't forget doing that. But seriously, what is this woman doing in this room on the first floor? Like, seriously, can somebody explain this to me? She's bending over the like, not the balcony, but the windowsill. She's giving you the kissy mouth. Then she's stepping a few steps back, and then she's doing like some kind of dance. People like this? Really? That's scary. I doubt this is exercise. I mean, what exactly are you exercising? Your delusion muscle? Thinking somebody would pay money for this? Whatever it is she's doing there. Is this what unemployment does to hookers? Yeah, no, I think I still got a villa, I think. That should not be randomized. I'm pretty sure of it. Oh, and I need to buy mimic greens, I realize. Do I even still have money? A little. You know, on the other hand, if Emerald Weapon is a random encounter in the ancient forest, then that does indeed give you a reason to go back there, even though a very spooky one. Maybe it's because I played the game as a child, and Emerald Weapon was an enemy that just, when I first played the game, was like difficult and killing me. Maybe I have PTSD from Emerald Weapon now, because just seeing the encounter really does kind of frighten me, unironically. Must be something very deep-seated. Also, this woman, she could be, she acts as if she is someone experiencing COVID-19. Isn't she also just buying everything she can? She looks like the classic panic buyer. No, it doesn't even tell me which materia. Wow. That's of course very helpful. Another contain. I have too many contains, I would say, at this point. You know, one thing I would really like to get, one materia, like gravity would be really nice. I actually quite like the music in the background here. I don't know what it's called, but it's like the definition of cozy to me. Are you kidding me? Are you saying I did not get the broken key? What kind of messed up joke is this? Are you saying I cannot get the curse ring? Well, wait. I mean, it seems I didn't get the key item. At least it doesn't say so, but it seems I can still use it. Oh well, it's fine with me. Oh hey, Odoni Dako. Indeed, I am alive. Are you too? Did I actually get a curse ring? Because I can't trust the game. Oh my god, I actually got a curse ring. I think this is like not even terrible. I can buy gravity wow, that's really nice. I wasn't even aware of that. This should come handy at some point. A provincial town. Oh, I've heard of that before. You know, I think in the soundtrack there's also a track by the name of Parochial Town. The person in charge of naming the soundtrack tracks seem to really like the word town. I mean, some of the other titles, tracks, I mean, I can actually name because of, I don't know, because they have catchier names. You know, the one that plays during the section where you have to chase the other train with Sid, and also it plays on the cargo ship. It's called It's Hard to Stand on Both Feet, or It's Hard to Stand on 2 Feet, which apparently is named so after Wet 13 in the sailor uniform, trying to look like a human and standing on 2 feet. Tuna Town. You know, have I mentioned to you that I was in Japan, and I was in a city that called itself the tuna capital of Japan. So basically I was in Tuna Town, in like real world Tuna Town. I can recommend Tuna Town. They have actual tuna there, like live and dead tuna. I experienced mostly the dead kind tuna. But I did not eat only tuna there. I ate lots of dead sea creatures. You know, while I was there was like there was pretty much, I mean, almost non-stop, there was quite a lot of rainfall, and it was quite adventurous, because like stuff was was being blown through the streets, and like it seemed to me that some roofs might be taken off because of all the storm, but that didn't happen. It was actually a fairly small town, so they only had one konbini, which was a bit disappointing, because I'm really into konbinis. and it's difficult for me to pass one without entering it. I mean, am I allowed to say this? They had like dolphin on the menu, and I think other things. And I'm not even sure if I had dolphin, but I might or might not have eaten dolphin. Which also is something I would not necessarily recommend, because it didn't really taste like anything in particular. In case I had it. You know what's even worse? I'm trying currently to think of the name of that town and I cannot remember it right now. I think it started with a K, but then again, my brain might just be malfunctioning. No, it was not Oma. It's a town in the oh, it's Katsura. That's what it's called. A town by the name of Ki Katsura. You can Google that and maybe find pictures of it. And pictures of the tuna that live there, something like that. That's the place, I mean. But I mean, maybe several towns in Japan call themselves the tuna capital of Japan. You know, for marketing reasons would make sense. I can KII hyphen KATSURA. Maybe he has lots of stones in his pockets. You know, maybe he collects stones or other things. And that's why his pockets are so heavy and that's why he can't run. Or, you know, maybe there's other things that make his pants so heavy that it looks as if they are being pulled down. Something like that could be realistic. Asahi? What do you mean by Asahi? Oh no. I can type it in chat. This is what it's called. If you want to go there, they have tuna, which is the #1 argument to visit any town, really. The #1 reason to visit any town. Thanks for the advice. I might use cloud. If you insist. So did you find any exciting tuna pictures of said town? You know, maybe I should just once play the game like you're supposed to play it. I feel like I should maybe do this just once, because, you know, it might be fun or something. Of course, I might also be entirely wrong, but who knows? Let's see what you found. I am not sure if that's anything at all. Picture number 2. I've been to that place. What you can see are like dead tuna. It looks like, I mean, they really look like that. Maybe you just had a different idea of what tuna look like, but I can assure you that's also what I saw. The first picture, I'm not sure what that is. I didn't see that. The second picture, though, I can say is realistic. So let's use perfectly pointless troops. Wait, don't I have a unit? Oh, there we go. We have the bomb setter, the most useful one. Let's just buy that a couple of times. And then also let's buy this. The fiery catapult. And the stoner. We need lots of stoners, of course. What would we do without our stoners? I mean, this is how you set a bomb. It doesn't look like they're setting bombs, but okay. Whatever. This is kind of how you play this game if you do not abuse cheap methods. I mean, does nobody want to run into my perfectly carefully placed bomb? Did I just do this perfectly like in vain? Oh no, that's so sad. Oh, so very, very, very sad. I mean, when the bomb explodes, it doesn't even deal much damage. Like, what kind of garbage is that? I just realized these units, I don't even know why they exist, but they are garbage. You heard it here first. Don't buy them. Complete fucking garbage. Well, that's too bad. I'm sorry to hear that. Also, can they even lay bombs more than once? Or are they like some kind of bee that once they've laid the bomb they cannot do so again? No, bees don't lay bombs, but bees apparently once they have used their sting, they cannot regrow it. In fact, apparently once they have used their sting, they die. Just think of bees and replace bomb with sting. You know, for some reason, now that you mention Ruby weapon, I feel like Ruby weapon is much less scary to me than Emerald weapon. I wonder why that is. Oh my god, so much destruction on my side. This ringed enemy is really annoying, I must say. It's causing everything on my side to burn down like that. Maybe I just need to build more bombs. I can't put a bomb there? Wow, that sucks. Where can I put a bomb, man? Like, I bought this thing specifically to lay bombs, and it can't even do that? What the fuck is wrong with this? This, by the way, is also a great way to waste your money. If you ever feel like you have too much gil in FF7, just play this game. Go all out. I mean, these things cost 600 gil. These even 1,000, wow. I wasn't even aware I was spending so much gil on this, but apparently I am. I mean, to be fair, they are quite effective, so maybe they're worth it. I mean, if I keep doing it like this, I might even run out of money at some point, which is really pathetic. But I guess it's more reason for me to claim this is a poverty mod. I can probably blame it all on Sega Chief, not on myself, and on my really shitty spending habits. You know, I could actually buy this other exciting unit, the healer. I wonder if it's worth anything at all. Yeah, just go there and repair shit. Let's try that. I mean, it actually seems like they're casting Cure on it or something, from the way the animation looks. I mean, it seems like all my costly things are being destroyed. I don't like that. Do they have any idea how much money I spent on this shit? Only for it to be destroyed so easily. Oh, but there's the big boss at least coming. Maybe my investments will finally pay off at some point. Am I a rich investment banker these days? Are you a rich investment banker these days? You are not? Well, that's unfortunate. You sold your ETF? You mean your exchange traded fund? You put money on me doing well with BTC? You mean Bitcoin? Can I sell this thing again? Did it just die? Wow, that's really cool. Selling and buying costs money? You mean there is fees for transaction? That's cool. Did you know that you can buy money in like a money store? Isn't it fascinating? TP? You mean toilet paper? Are you just sharing your serious toilet paper business strategies with us now? I mean, have I not already brought up my advanced proctologist knowledge? Proctologists don't want to hear the secrets, but apparently toilet paper is just generally speaking not a good thing to use because it irritates your body and all and stuff. But maybe they're just in bed with the bidet industry or something. The people who tell you that, I'm not sure. I don't know whom to trust. You can get infections from using bidets, really? That's interesting. I didn't know that. Maybe you just do not have any kind of bowel movement whatsoever. Then you might be just in the ideal situation. Just do not eat, then you will not have to worry about these things. Well, you could say the same thing about dentists. I mean, are dentists really supposed to help you? Or do they want you to have bad teeth, so you go to them often and have to pay more? I mean, who knows what they really want? Someone got a prostate infection while in Japan. But isn't I mean, the thing is your prostate, speaking here from my proctologist knowledge once more, your prostate is kind of far inside your body, isn't it? Like, I don't know how, what exactly you have to be doing in order to get an infection there. But that sounds fascinating, I must say. Also, did you know that only men have prostates? Women do not? Like, isn't that sexist? Ultima. Okay, cool, cool. people actually like this. I never understood why people into ASMR seem to enjoy people whispering. I don't really enjoy whispering or listening to people whispering. Maybe I'm just not the right ASMR person though. Also, is that even still a thing, ASMR in general? Because some years ago it was the biggest thing on YouTube. I am not quite sure if it still is. Oh really? Like they have a genuine non-imaginary reaction? That's interesting. I just can't say I do. Oh look, I mean, I don't even know what to say, but dynamite, you cannot have limit breaks without dynamite, it seems. You have to just have limit breaks that involve dynamite at least 6 times a day. Are you asking me to share it with you in terms of, you know, I cannot really share it with you because you're not physically present. So I'm afraid I can't do that, but I'm assuming you mean sharing as in telling. Well, I haven't eaten it yet quite sufficiently. But I can tell you it smells of it smells like a dog. On a flowery field. I am eating what smells like a dog on a flowery field. If that helps. I mean, I didn't even bring enough for myself, so... Oh my god. What the fuck is this? I am afraid I don't even have enough for myself. So, probably not enough for you either. Maybe I should only eat stuff on stream that doesn't come in so noisy containers. Because I'm getting kind of self-conscious about all the noise I'm making while I'm just trying to eat, not even very loudly. Did I try unagi in Japan? Isn't unagi just the name for eel? Because I've eaten eel quite often, both in and outside of Japan, I think. I would say that eel is one of my favorite seafood dishes. Next to octopus. I like seafood that's really spooky looking, so tentacles are good, slippery skin is good. Oh my god, looking very spooky right now. I actually had pufferfish as well. I went to a restaurant chain that basically specializes in fugu, and I didn't die. So I think it was a pleasant experience because I didn't die. Even though the fish in itself doesn't really taste that exciting. I would say at least. I'm not sure if it's worth it. I believe I had Wagyu, but I didn't really want to try it. I'm not really into beef. Or mouse meat. Also, why am I getting this encounter constantly? I think this is glitched. I feel like I shouldn't be getting these encounters so many times in a row. Horse? You can eat horse meat here in Germany. I was told. I thought it's like looked down upon or something like that, maybe even illegal, but apparently not. Apparently horse meat is just cheap meat, but it doesn't sound appealing to me to eat horse meat. I mean, to be honest, like most meats don't really seem appealing to me. When I think of meat, I just think of like, I don't know, dead bodies. Corpses generally do not attract me, neither sexually nor taste-wise. Except of course for fish and tuna, and like... But then again I feel seafood isn't really meat, is it? Well, I can probably most tolerate eating chicken, but the thought of eating it isn't exactly exciting. Like, apparently some people really enjoy meat. I am at best indifferent. What other Japanese dish did I try and like? You know, there's this Osaka specialty of souffle cheesecake. Like, I think it's also known as jiggly cheesecake because it's, well, cheesecake that is jiggly. And of course I really like that. Do I like drinking green tea every meal? You probably get used to it. You know, in Japanese restaurants, green tea is free, so you don't have to pay for it. Like, in some restaurants, in some countries, water, or at least tap water, is free. You know, in Germany, nothing is free. If you go to a restaurant, you pay even for just basic shitty water, which I find kind of silly, but that's just the way it is here. They don't know what iced tea is. I am not sure if I agree with that. What do you mean by they don't know what iced tea is? I mean, I don't hope you don't mind my saying that, but Genmaicha is like the worst fucking thing I ever drank. Isn't it just extremely bitter? I mean, as I said, no offense, but I didn't like Genmaicha at all. Yeah, I know. It's the one with popped rice, like roasted rice, and I found it just totally insufferable. Maybe I am exaggerating, but I I would not recommend it. But it seems like people have different taste than I do occasionally. No, I mean like I don't mean bottled one. I drank it like in a restaurant. It was served, and that was not good. By the way, it doesn't matter which answer you give here. You get the item in both cases. I also learned mm, that apparently you can be a tempura snob because apparently there's different quality tempuras out there, and not every tempura is the same. And good tempura apparently is very thin and very crisp, whereas shitty tempura is very soggy and just over fried, and you don't always get the good tempura. Do you mean literally murdered? Or do you mean murdered as a way to say that the tempura is getting bad? You know, I was at a restaurant where they had, I'm not sure what kind of prawn it was, but it was some kind of giant prawn, and when it was being served, like the head portion was still moving. Apparently it was already dead, and it was like the case of the chicken that has been decapitated, and the head just still moving, or the body as a result of reflexes. And just like that, the prawn in that case, the antennas were still moving, which was kind of spooky actually. And I didn't feel so sure about eating it, but I still did. So I take it you too have experience with eating this sort of prawn, because you seem to know quite a few things about it. You know, I think it was more of a gag food, really. I didn't feel it tasted it particularly interesting or good. I guess it's just something you try out once because of the stale moving body parts thing. Oh really? You are allergic to what exactly? Seafood? I mean, that sounds really tragic, because if I had a seafood allergy, I don't even know how I would function. You know, I even have a list of allergies I think I would be more or less able to cope with. And seafood allergy is an allergy I really would not want to have. Oh, shell food maybe? I see. You know, have I mentioned before, I think I'm allergic to some exotic fruit. I'm not